Why should a terrorist leave terrorism when he reads the Quran? Please show me something from the Quran which is beautiful, which tells you, hey, terrorism is evil, don't do this. What teaching is there in the Quran? Do you know of any positive teaching, anything that is useful, for example, in your family life? Anything that is useful that you can use from the Quran for your family life? In the Quran, I see plenty of material. I can show you any number of material if you want. I see plenty of material as to why a Muslim, when he reads, will necessarily go around killing Jews and Christians with no particular reason, but just for the fact that they are Jews and Christians. I can show you number of material. Which country are you from? I am from India. That's right. So now you please tell me, and therefore, one second, and therefore I completely understand when there are Muslims who are terrorists, who are involved in Southport killing, Manchester bombing and so on. I completely understand why that is happening, because I see the ideology leading people necessarily to that behavior. That is fine. That, when I say fine, that I understand, because reading this faithfully will lead to that behavior. And that is where I really want to speak to Muslims such as you, who could possibly give a contrary case. Why should a terrorist leave terrorism when he reads the Quran? Please show me something from the Quran which is beautiful, which tells you, hey, terrorism is evil, don't do this. What teaching is there in the Quran?
I don't think we believe in terrorism. We don't do terrorism.
Yeah, you may not.
Yeah.
But what is there in the Quran?
You tell me one verse from there.
Come again?
Do you know one verse from there?
I know the entire Quran.
By heart.
Not by heart. Why should I know by heart?
Okay, give me a verse.
About terrorism? About terrorism?
Is there terrorism in
Surah
the
532, for instance. It explains how Christians can be crucified, alternative sides, limbs cut off. Surah 9:29 explains how again Christians will be subjugated. In Surah 2, I can show you passages. Surah 8, spoils of war, Al-Anfal. I can show you chapter after chapter after chapter as to why any faithful Muslim who reads the Quran will necessarily become people such as Bin Laden, Al-Baghdadi, or any of these, depending on the chance that they get. Now, of course, we have also the homemade little minions like the Southport murderers.
Do you think that Muslims are just terrorists, or is there other ethnicities that can be terrorists as well?
Well, that's a different story. Let's focus on Islam alone. So you please help me understand. Here is where I really want. This gentleman, I really think he can try and make sense. I can see a man who is trying to make sense. So please tell me, is there anything in the Quran which you can use to teach a terrorist and say, look, the Quran teaches this, and the Quran helps us understand that we should not be terrorists. Is there anything in the Quran? How long have you been a Muslim?
All life, probably.
All your life. So is there anything in the Quran that you can use to explain how and why Muslims cannot be terrorists?
Killing is forbidden.
Where? Please show.
I'm not allowed to kill.
Where?
I'm not sure if it's shown there, but
It's not here. I know, maybe you were born and brought up in the UK. So maybe you're talking about British culture. Maybe you've heard from your neighbors that clearly from a Christian culture. In a Christian culture, we believe killing even the worst of enemies is not good. We need to be really careful. That's what, as Christians, we believe. We're supposed to even love our enemies. That's what we do. So that's perhaps what you're talking about right now. You've heard from your neighbors. But have you seen such a teaching in the Quran? You haven't. You see, that is the problem. Most Muslims, I don't know why they do this. Many of them are like you. And I'd like to really honestly speak to Muslims such as you. I genuinely think Islam at the core is a terrorist religion. It is. But you on what basis? Don't just disagree. Please give me some material. What basis? Yeah, but when you go and
Sunday.
show me anything like this. Please. Where do you get the idea from?
The terrorism that outer boundaries, not in the religion.
Please explain. Please explain.
I don't think it is.
Please explain.
In my opinion.
You see, the point is, my dear friend, this is what I said. The moment I saw you and the moment I saw this young man, I genuinely, no,
I come from Birmingham, look forward to come here today just to listen to all of this.
No, I have been at the park for a very long time. And I can genuinely tell you, looking
I must have seen it on YouTube, that's why.
Sure.
Yeah.
And when I looked at you in the initial 2 minutes, 5 minutes of the conversation, I know that you are someone who would really hate terrorism. I can see. And in the young man also, I see the same. And that is why I was trying to really have this conversation with you. But I must wake you up, wake both of you up, to help you understand that despite your good intentions, which you might have picked up from the environment you grew up in, which is a Christian culture, despite that, the Quran doesn't teach anything good in relation to loving your neighbor, don't kill your neighbor, killing is bad. None of these actually come from the Quran. And that is what I want to challenge you.
Where does it come from then?
It only comes from the Bible. From the
Bible?
Christian culture.
Which Bible?
Well, what do you mean which Bible?
You just said the Bible. Which Bible? The Bible
The
has
Christian
been
Bible.
changed multiple times.
No. Please don't do
The
this.
Quran has
I'm not. Now, here is where you need to stick to the very serious topic we are dealing with. We are talking about two different religions, Islam and Christianity, one of which has no positive teaching at all to human beings. None.
Quran.
Yeah, of course there is no. Do you know of any positive teaching? Anything that is useful, for example, in your family life? Anything that is useful that you can use from the Quran for your family life? There is nothing. You know, of course, how old are you? 30 or 40 or, yeah? So you have read your Quran for a while? A little bit, yeah. A little bit, yeah.
I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
not perfect.
That's fine.
Nobody's perfect.
I'm not talking about you being perfect, but you must have heard at least some good things from the Quran, if there is any.
Possibly.
So what do you remember? What do you remember that you've heard from the Quran? Not from the Christian environment, but from the Quran. What have you heard? What have you heard which is useful?
It's a peaceful religion.
Where? Please, show me. Where in the Quran you get the idea that Islam is a peaceful religion? Where in the Quran?
As far as I remember it is.
There is no such thing, my dear friend.
People will change it, make it to be not a peaceful religion.
And now I'm talking about the Quran. You know, here is where, please remember, to keep the conversation simple, I'm not asking you to explain some Muslim behavior. I'm asking you to explain from the text itself. You see? And so that way, you're stuck with the text. So if the text is good, you can tell us something which is good.
This is in English, Brian.
This is in English, yeah.
You read in English, I have not. So therefore, I cannot explain nothing to you.
What have you read?
In Arabic.
You know Arabic?
I've been reading.
But do you know Arabic?
No. But I can read.
So, you see the problem? Part of the problem is, you
That's
think...
why you go in education, you go up in level. I'm still down
Dear
here.
friend.
I'm
My dear friend.
trying to become.
No, my dear friend, if the Quran says something which is tremendous like love your neighbor, do you think that can't be translated from Arabic to English?
Yeah, of course, can. But
Yeah. So I have read the Quran and all that I find is nothing to the extent of love your enemies, but everything to the extent of kill the Jews, kill the Christians, wherever you find them, subjugate them, chop them. That's what you... Can I read a verse for you? Yeah, let's read. Surah 5, for example. Surah 5, Ayah 32. Yeah, please, you also, my dear friend, please. Yeah. Surah 5, Ayah 32. Because of that, we decreed upon the children of Israel that whoever kills a soul, unless for a soul or for corruption in the land, it is as if he had slain mankind entirely. And whoever saves one, it is as if he had saved mankind entirely. And our messengers had certainly come to them with clear proofs. Then indeed many of them after that throughout the land were transgressors. Indeed, the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His Messenger and strive upon earth corruption is none but that they be killed or crucified, or that their hands and feet be cut off from opposite sides, or that they be exiled from the land. That is for them a disgrace in this world, and for them in the hereafter is a great punishment.
Why is that? You just said it there something about disgracing Allah and the religion.
Who is fighting Allah? No one is fighting Allah.
You just said that.
Well, who is fighting Allah? Who fought Allah?
No, nobody fighting Allah. If you were to disgrace about the religion of Islam and Allah and the Prophet, that's why you just said it's something about killing. That's what the
Listen
the
to me,
killing.
please. What it says is, if anyone strive upon the earth corruption,
Yeah.
that they may be killed or crucified, or their hands and feet be cut off from opposite side. Corruption. You know, in a Muslim Islamic theology, worshipping Jesus, which is what Christians do, is corrupting the land. This is Islamic theology. Because in their mind, we are corruptors and therefore we deserve to die. And this is why Islamic terrorism is flourishing. And so, my dear friend,
I think it's rising.
it's rising, it's becoming a serious issue, and you as a Muslim now should stand up and say, if there is no good teaching in Islam, time to leave Islam.
That will never happen.
Why not?
I don't think it will ever happen.
So even though you've understood that Islam is a terrorist religion, you won't leave it?
Okay, regarding the terrorism, no.
No, please listen to me. Even though today I have read to you one example verse, and you could not show me any good teaching from the Qur'an to contradict terrorism, even though you could not, which means net result is we have established Islam to be a terrorist religion. I can show you many more examples. I have my notes, I can walk you through many more examples. I would like to think, for a sensible person such as you and you, it'll be high time for you to leave Islam. And so I'm a bit surprised when you say you won't.
Yeah, no chance.
Why not?
No chance.
Why not?
Never. I was born as a Muslim and I died.
Why not? So even though Islam is a terrorist religion, you will not leave it.
I'm not about. Never.
No, please listen to me. Even though Islam is a terrorist religion, you are saying you won't leave it. So which will make you also complicit in the same terrorism. No, complicit. If once you've understood, at the least you should be willing to say, when I go home, I want to read up a little bit. At the least you should say that. And at the least you should be able to say, if I go through the Quran and I don't find a good teaching to contradict terrorism, but only bad teaching to support terrorism, then I will consider leaving Islam. At the least, you should be willing to say, I will do my homework. But yeah, you should really do the homework. And you too.
You're claiming
So-
that there's no bad in the Bible, so I just want you to pull out a verse so I can prove to you there is bad in the Bible.
So, before that, okay, I can do that right now. But before that, can we agree that you haven't been able to show any good teaching in the Quran? Can we at least agree on that?
Any good teaching, open up any verse. Any verse, just flick
The
through.
Quran?
Yeah, any verse.
Please show.
Just
Please show
any
one
random-
good teaching. Please tell me.
Random verse and pull it out.
Please tell me one good teaching in the Quran. Moral good teaching in the Quran. One.
Random verse, just pull it out.
What do you mean random verse?
Just go through, just random verse, pull the first
Yeah,
one out.
show me.
Yeah, read the first
Show
one.
me
There you
one
go.
good teaching.
There you go, read the first one.
Do you understand the word good?
Yeah,
Okay, let's
do it. There you go. You said there's no good.
And
Let's
you,
say the first one there.
okay. And you will not cause failure upon the earth, and you have not besides Allah any protector or helper. What is good about this?
What isn't good about this? You said there's no good.
Well, Islam, any Mickey Mouse Allah, anyone who claims to be God is going to clearly claim that he is God. Yeah, what is good in that? What is the moral good in that? You know, even Hitler, he is going to claim that he is a leader that you need to follow. Yeah, that's how he gathers followers. So merely because he tries to gather followers, it doesn't mean it's a morally good teaching. You see what I'm saying? What is morally good is, you know what morality is, yeah? Being kind to even your enemies is morally good teaching. I'm not talking about some random sentences in the Quran. I'm talking about morally good teaching.
But you can't really claim there's only bad in the Quran.
I am claiming so boldly because I want to challenge you, and I have read the Quran multiple times. I have researched, And I'm genuinely telling you, there is no good teaching in the Quran. Especially, for example, if we take topic by topic.
If there's no good in the Quran, why is Christianity declining and
Becoming
Who is
Muslim.
telling you Christianity is declining?
check the statistics?
Well, look, you know why
There's
Islam
more
is...
Muslims in the world than Christianity.
Who is
Christianity is
What is the
declining.
statistic? Please tell me.
Huh? Sorry?
What is the statistic? Please tell me.
I'm not sure what the statistics say.
Please
but-
don't talk
but
about
do your-
things which you
Do
don't.
your research.
No, please don't tell what you
So
have.
are you saying there's more Christians than Muslims?
How does it matter? Christians are morally upright people. Red Cross. Red Cross comes from Christians. Most of the marvelous YMCA, most of the marvelous charities come from Christians.
Is it?
Of course. You know why? Have you heard the Red
didn't see
Crescent?
it.
Have you heard the Red Crescent?
I didn't hear.
Yeah. All Muslim charities are very late in origin and are copycats. Because they've seen Christians do wonderful work and they are a little bit jealous and they want to copy.
Oh, really?
Why do they name Red Crescent Red Crescent?
Well, why did what?
Why do they name this charity called Red Crescent? Red Crescent, did you know?
I never heard of it.
Because they want to follow Red Cross. They want to be cheap imitators. The Cross is a Christian. Red Cross is a charity founded by Christians. Now Muslims very late they realized, oopsie, we haven't got anything good. We better at least imitate, even if it is terribly late. And that's why you have Red Crescent. So these are deep imitation, fake imitations. Now, let me ask you this. So, I really want to wrap this up. We have gone on for a while, and I genuinely want to comment to you. What's your name?
Muhammad.
Mohammed, and what's your name?
Said.
My dear friends, can I please both of you? My YouTube channel is called Operation Steven.
I come here every week. Every week I see you.
Sure. So next week, please take your time. You know the challenge right now. For example, take a topic such as terrorism, for example, and spend the next week.
Truly, I come here to listen.
Out of
Sure.
I don't come here to debate. I
That's
just come
good.
here to listen
But-
and educate myself.
Sure. That's lovely. That's really lovely.
But
But
I
the
don't
good
like the
thing.
fact you're claiming there's only bad in the Quran and there's
Only bad in the
zero
Quran.
bad in the Bible.
Take the challenge seriously. Next time when you come, for example, take the subject
How
of
about before
terrorism.
we wrap it up, you at least read one bad verse in the Bible.
Where-
We'll
where-
wrap it
where
up.
do you have one
Okay,
bad
go
verse?
Get your Bible out.
Sure.
But you claim there's zero bad, and you tell
There's
me if this
nothing.
is bad or good.
No bad teaching in the Bible.
1 Samuel 15:3.
1 Samuel 15:3. What do you find? Yeah.
Okay, so what does it say?
Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, infant and nursing child, ox and sheep, and camel and donkey.
Why kill a woman, kids? And why kill an animal for what? So you said there's completely nothing bad in the Bible.
Yeah.
you just read one
Why
out.
kill children and women?
So maybe you misunderstood. Let me clarify.
What did I misunderstand? It clearly says kill children.
I'll clarify. Yeah. So, God of the Bible actually judges. Let me finish. Please hear me out.
But when you speak about that verse.
Yeah, I will.
Because you said there's no bad in the Bible.
Here is where I asked you to speak on the verse. You just asked me to speak. So let me do it because you may not know the Bible and therefore let me explain. As a Christian, I am not claiming that God of the Bible is some sort of a wimp, doesn't have a clue, can't judge, will do nothing which involves judgment. Yeah? I am quite happy for the judicial system in the UK, for the law and order system in the UK. I'm quite happy for the police to implement law and order, for example. I'm quite happy for the judiciary to implement a proper judgment when there are murders happening in our nation. I am quite happy in the same vein for God of the Bible to impose judgment as and when judgment is deserved. And there is going to come a grand judgment day at the end also. At the end, where everyone will be judged. Yeah. So I am not against judgment of God. I'm not against judgment of God. For religious reasons, you will never ever find God of the Bible asking Jews or Christians to go and kill people who have rejected God of the Bible. That's a religious reason. And the verse that I showed you from the Quran, which is why Muslims do the terrorism across the world, the reason Islamic terrorism happens The reason why the Quran asks people to kill, Muslims to kill,
So that doesn't say
is
to kill.
because one second, is because non-Muslims have rejected the Islamic Allah. That is a very, very vile reason. This is a religious reason. You won't find that with God of the Bible. With God of the Bible, you know what has happened? God of the Bible has found nations which have done terrible things, like killing their own children and so on, and He brought in judgment at appropriate
About the verse,
times.
I don't understand. You're not even speaking about the verse.
Amalek was a nation which wanted to fight and exterminate the nation of Israel as a nation which were slaves. You know, leaving Egypt as slaves. As Israel were leaving Egypt as slaves, Amalek wanted to commit a genocide of the nation of Israel. Committing genocide is a serious crime in the eyes of God, and therefore he is judged. That judgment is well deserved on Amalek. Genocide, for example, if there is a neighboring nation trying to commit genocide today, we should go and prevent them from doing it. We should go and subjugate them. You see what I'm saying? If we are sensible, we should go and prevent nations which are trying to commit genocide. That is a right. Like what?
Palestine?
What is happening?
Genocide?
The only genocide that is happening in Israel is Palestinians
Getting killed?
reading the Quran properly and wanting to exterminate Israel again. That's what's happening. Who is among the Palestinian side and Israelite side, who has an ideological basis to exterminate the other side? Please tell me.
Israel.
Give me the reason. Give me the details. Who has the ideological side to exterminate the other side? Give me details,
I'll
please.
give you the details. It's
Please.
Israel. Because in there, in the Torah, it clearly says they need to kill off 6 million righteous lineage of Abraham. Where? It says it in the Torah. The same Torah where it
Give
says
me the reference, please.
I'll give you a reference. In the Torah, if you go back to a certain part of the Torah, it says they are.
Don't make things up. Give me a reference.
No, I'm giving you the reference from the Torah.
Reference.
Yeah, I'm giving you.
I can name you the books of the Torah.
Okay, name
Tell
me
you which book
I
are you
don't know.
referring to. If you don't know, don't make things up.
No, I'm
You're
not making
accusing
up.
a nation of a serious crime.
Look, you asked me a question. Are you going to allow me to answer, or are you going to be small-minded?
Listen to me.
You asked me a question.
I'm
You're
going
not
to
allowing me
repeat the
to
question
answer.
again.
You're not allowing me to
I'm
answer.
going to repeat the question again.
Will you allow me to answer?
I'm going to.
Will you give me a minute to answer?
I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to. But listen to my question again.
Okay, then listen to the answer.
Give me a reference to establish ideological basis either on the side of Israel or on the side of the Muslims in Gaza
Okay, I'll make
to
it very clear.
exterminate the other side.
I'll make